expecting a representative from the city of Indianapolis, and then Andrew Klinger texted and said he was running that.
Okay, so we'll get started with mine, right?
For,
Give me just a couple of seconds here, I'll make sure it streams.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
All right.
Yeah, it was not for the first time in years, I was able to come down Washington Street. The bridges were open
Yeah.
along the river flows at them.
Forever.
And and I was shocked even when my GPS said I could, I'm like, I don't know, I don't believe it. But I could get through.
I think we had a boat that went. This bus is on tour. Yeah, on detour, and now it's the detour.
Very slowly loading here.
yeah. But have good Thanksgiving plans, anybody traveling? You're staying local, you're going to some cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm traveling them, which is.
Where you going?
That was a great idea, but I am
Still working on it, right, Sean?
Right.
Where you
Where you going?
Florida, Key
Oh,
West.
that's awful. I can't believe that.
I'm happy the government shutdown's over at least, it's not freaking out, but Key West. So I have a direct flight from here to Key West, so it's.
Really?
I don't know.
Direct flight, okay, right.
That's why I was happy about that.
It's a good find, you just have to get on the flight.
I just gotta make it to the as big as a
Look
plane.
at all the Margaritaville. companies.
Yeah, probably.
You have a shirt?
I probably don't. I didn't realize.
You're taking the whole family or?
Yeah, it's like, it's my wife, it's my whole family and then my. Like 9 of us.
Yeah.
All right, we have a lot.
I'm gonna talk to people right now.
All right, guys, the camera's live.
Okay, everyone, it is 9:01, November 21st, 2025. And it's time to call the Indianapolis Metropolitan Planning Organization Executive Committee to order. I'm Steve Barnett, Mayor, City of Franklin. We'll go to my left.
Ryan Cannon, Town Manager, Town of Avon.
Ryan Wilhite, Indigo.
Mark Harebrant, Hamilton County. Eric Watson, Henderson County.
Jim Kaufman, City Beach Grove. Sean Northup, MPO.
Kristen Sanchez, MPO. Jennifer Kroll, MPO. Anna Gremley, MPO.
Hey, thank you. Item number 2, everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from August 22nd. There's no changes. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm also gonna ask, Commissioner Harebrant has to leave maybe just a little bit early. If we could move items 6, 7, and 8 and go ahead of 3, we would need a motion to do that, I believe.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll go right on to item number 6. Federal funds exchange LPA agreement, 1-year extension authority. Anna.
Yes, this is really called covering your bases. We did look at the accounting manual. I have the ability under executive director authority to extend contracts up to 1 year. I wanted to make sure that I was being uber clear, now that we are managing and do have federal exchange contracts as well. That authority, also, right, not only the accounting manual, but applied to the federal exchange contracts. Do have, I believe, one, contract that has been executed that is, I couldn't say utility coordination issues, but I don't even really know, it's just a good. You could just say utility coordination, because that seems to always be an issue, but, and they already know that they're not going to let on time and going to need to move that contract out. So instead of having to bring a 1-year extension, it is only 1 year, anything beyond that would come back, and I think we would have to have some serious conversations if somebody was awarded a project in 1 year. Got the 1-year extension and still couldn't make the project to letting them. Need to have some conversations about their ability to deliver a project, so. I talked to legal, crossed around Todd, thought, it was already within the powers as well, but thought just. They said verbal clarity, since I do know we have elections around the corner, I did just make this an approval item. Yeah. Anybody have questions? So this is pertaining to the infrastructure funding, particularly, the federal exchange projects.
Questions or comments? If not, I think we would need a motion to approve resolution 2025 exec dash 0019.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Hearing none, we'll go on to item number 7, federal funds exchange agreement, amendment 3. Andrew.
Yes. So as you all know, right, we receive federal, or we exchange our federal funds with INDOT. We take those federal funds, back as state, and we have an investment policy. We are like $1.2 million of interest earned. Was floating some creative ideas of what we are doing with the interest. Asking some clarifying questions, ask legal to dig into if there are parameters around what we can do with interest earned on the infrastructure money. In asking questions, I raised red flags, and that clearly wants us to put it back in infrastructure. That is what we are going to do. We are going to put it in infrastructure so hard, that they want us to sign an amendment to do so. Fine. They also added a couple of other provisions under the Ron administration that they want us to adhere to under this agreement. The legal looked it over. Steve's been the lead on it as well. Nobody has any issues or sees red flags on it. So.
Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we will need a motion to approve resolution 2025 exec dash 0020.
So moved. William.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item number 8. This is going pretty fast. Federal funding exchange LPA project awards. Kristen.
So we're just bringing forth our next bundle of projects that will be bidding in the spring and starting construction. Actually, one of them may have already bid. But they will be beginning construction this year, so we will be issue their funds, I believe as early as February, so we need to execute our IMPO, LPA, federal exchange contracts, agreements with them to issue them. So we have one for Fishers, one for Hamilton County, and Indianapolis is continuing Madison Ave.
Questions or comments there? Hearing none, I think we need a motion to approve resolution 2025 executive dash 0016.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed by saying aye? Hearing none, motion passes. That's not the boilerplate part. Was that all of it?
Yes, should be all of that. That includes the boilerplate,
Okay.
the contract.
All right, so we got through 6, 7, and 8. We'll go back to item number 3, acceptance of financial report. Christine.
All right, did include a memo this time as requested from the last meeting, some updates since we met a couple months ago. 2026 membership dues to match against our 2026 PL funds did go out. We've started receiving those in, just this past week, we've received an approved BPW fee. So now we're just waiting to execute the grant agreement, in order to get that PO for next year. And so it's always great when we get it before the end of the calendar year, so we can start fresh. We also in September did receive an initial wave of our 2026 federal funds exchange dollars from INDOT. This year, they did allow us to request those a couple months earlier than last year, which was great, but they're holding us at only 75% right now. I'm hoping they open up the remaining 25% by February. When they know full obligation is there for the year. And then we will reinvest those funds. We don't need any of that money right now, so we're not holding up any projects, but we'll reinvest those through likely the end of August. until we move into 2027 funds. And then another big change since the last meeting is, as we discussed on federal exchange investment, or interest earned, we did set up a new account, account 5220, on the income statement. And so you'll be able to track that moving forward. Well, other updates, ready, both regions are, I think, moving full charge ahead. We have had invoices coming in very quickly. I'm trying to get them turned around and submitted to IEDC as quickly as possible. Both are past, I'd say 75% dispersed at this point. And really drawing their funds down well. And the only other update is, I think I was gonna note, staff travel was really busy, I think, in the month of October, so you'll just see the account for travel expenses a little higher in that month. We had, I'd say 4 or 5 people on the road going to conferences, so. Any questions on anything?
Questions, comments?
It's been fun to watch those ready projects come in. The Hughes of Hendricks County murals are really beautiful, and it's, yeah, seeing those come in and like some of the culverts, they're big changes really quickly. It's really been neat to see.
Motion to approve.
Yes, I'm sorry, just, thank you for providing this. This was helpful when I was reviewing the packet this time around. I actually was able to go back and look at it. One thing that your note about employee travel made me think that, we don't have a financial statement that looks at, year to date and budget. Is that something that's easy to produce and put in here?
Budget versus actual.
It's a challenge. Budget versus actual is a challenge we're working through right now.
Okay.
We can put it in, it's not very easy to, but it's something we can generate really easily.
Okay, yeah,
It's the classification. Budget codes is a problem right now under our, where of like a regular meeting that we're working through to try and fix it.
maybe before you put it in the packets, I could see just an example of what it would look like and see if it's valuable. Your comment on employee travel made me think like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, what did we budget for? And then I was looking at it, I was like, can't you see the account numbers? So,
Yeah.
In its current format, I promise you it's not.
okay,
We're
cool.
welcome to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I will send it to you.
Yeah,
We're
that'd
looking
be
to
great.
schedule another meeting with our budget group, just to help us better work through setting that up so that we're labeling things correctly.
In the meantime, I think for me, the memo update is great.
And it's, travel is pretty traditionally pretty heavy right in the springtime conferences, the fall conferences. We did have a couple of interesting ones that argue this year, Morksey paid for one of our staff members to travel over to Morksey. Pay for hotel and mileage and per diem and those types of things. I'm traveling as part of a national cooperative highway research program to DC for a few days. That's covered by the grant of the folks putting that on. So that's kind of been a first for us to actually have, not common, I guess, for us to actually have our travel paid for. So I think that's kind of exciting.
That's all I had.
Okay, any other comments? And Mark just made a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by saying aye. Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to item number 4. IMPO financial contracts again.
So we actually have 2 financial contracts and several one-year extensions. These are before you because these boilerplates at the time, I only have the capability of doing 6-month extensions. That's what's in the contract. So the first is Frost Brown Todd. They are our legal team. We have expended quite a bit of dollars in the last month or two. We've updated our data writer. Some of the contract negotiations and discussions with INDOT on the INDOT. Also approved. We are now getting pulled into, and I don't know why now, foreclosures. We are being listed as interested parties in foreclosures of properties. I firmly believe, they mean the Metropolitan TMD, Department of Metropolitan Development. And not the Indy MPO, but the fact that they are listing our street address And that they're not even, it's called in the MPO and the Indie Funding Plan, which is some term I've never heard of. But the issue is we do need to respond that we have no interest in the property. And right, that is, yeah, so we've had 2 or 3 of those kind of in recent months. And then we've been going back and forth with our HRIS, our Human Resource Information System. We're renewing that contract. It is below 50,000, but it contains a lot of EPI, personal information, and so legal is it's one last time, right? If there's a breach, it has all of our bank account numbers, it has our social security numbers that, right, we'd be notified immediately, and their contracts were like, if only when we confirm there's a breach, we have, 60 days to notify employees, so we negotiated with them and back that down. Action. So we haven't incurred quite a bit of money, but we think $80,000 will get us through 2026. The other one is TAM Capital. As you know, they are our lobbying firm. They last year, so our session 2025 was the first year under a new procurement cycle. We have up to 3 years to rehire them. TAM Capital was shortlisted. Corridon Group, and we shortlisted both of them. Jenny actually helped from Indigo with the selection process. TAM Capital came out on top. And we've been continued to be happy with them, so we're moving forward with a contract with them. That is 100% local, and that is because we can't use federal funds. The contracts we anticipate or would like 1-year extensions on is Zastro, and Zastro are they the budgeting component? No, they're the tech, what is Zastro?
Their support.
Their help desk
They're-
or Oracle and our financial system. Red Envelope, which is our HR on-call, Holiday. They are our PIO, media relations specialist, and then ESW is our on-call CFO. I'll tell you, this is the 1-year extension to CSW. We did not use them at all last year, or we did call once or twice, but they never billed us. I like to have them just on retainer under contract in case we really need to dig into something and need their help. Or maybe the person that does payroll needs a short-term disability or something, like it's just nice to have them on retainer to be able to call them. I will tell you, I've continued to be impressed with Red Envelope, and just having somebody in that as needed HR role as we talk about, really, as we get into performance evaluations, reviewing, the do's and don'ts with managers on performance, and has been helpful as well. So those are the items before you. There's 6 items before you. Any questions on it, Kevin?
Questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll need a motion to approve resolution 2025 executive dash 007 by saying aye.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
I'm sorry, I missed. You were the first.
Yeah, but there were like 3 people who said second at the same time.
One on either side of it. Yeah, I heard Ryan say it.
Okay, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I'll take the poll.
Yeah, I think we voted on that, but again, by saying aye.
Yeah.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, it passes. Thank you. We'll go on to the next item 5, Information Services Agency.
So we signed a similar agreement in June of 2020 with ISA as part of our separation. So there are a couple of things, though we are a completely separate agency, we still use the city of Indianapolis IT department. And it has, I think, worked out to our benefit. The staff is a little frustrated from time to time, me too. For any of those that are watching. But it has been 5 years and they would like us to sign a new agreement. Essentially, the IT department or ISA has all sorts of policies and procedures. This is confirming that we would adhere to those. Our billing cycle is we are charged based on the equipment we lease. So we have a few computers that we are still leasing through the city of Indianapolis. I'll tell you, for the most part, we have outgrown what the city can offer with advanced machines, so we've actually purchased those directly from them. As well as our visualization needs are greater than what standard monitor is provided, so we have upgraded larger monitors as well. I have a standard laptop, so the standard laptop has the basic word functions. And then some of the GIS and heavy graphic users, right, have a little bit more processing power. We are also charged based on the amount of things we store on the server. ISA is correcting how they bill. I will tell you, we are pulling the data model runs, which is one of our biggest data storage. Large data dumps every time we do model runs. We did pull that off the ISA network and are storing that with Google as a pilot. We do have everything backed up, and I'm gonna say external hard drives as well. Just because of what ISA was charging us wasn't within our budget parameters. They did kind of, when we told them we were gonna pull it off the network, start offering us discounts, which was very interesting. But we are continuing moving forward with the pilot on Google Drive. So any questions regarding any of the ISA components of the memo?
Questions or comments?
What's the annual budget for these services?
John?
It's roughly $70,000 a year. So when Anna and I started at the IMPO, ISA was the biggest punchline in the city county building, right? Everyone was frustrated. It didn't work. They were not very secure. It has undergone just a massive 180 since then. They're now very professional. Their billing is much cleaner. Their technology is much more open. And at the same time, the number of attacks on the system have gone up 1,000-fold, right? They're very secure. We knock on wood. We haven't had any significant threats. We're very locked down on a lot of things that we do. We're two-factor rolled in very early. We've been happy with it. We went to market in 2020 when we moved out and looked at disentangling, which is a really good adjective for what it would take to get out of our this contract. It's cost effective as well. We found, compared to the private costs, it was really good. Remaining in city county building, it really made total sense, but it also made financial sense. It also was kind of meeting the requirements that we had. So we've been very happy with this contract for the most part. There's obvious regular IT frustrations, but like Anna said, we've been able to go out and purchase the equipment that we've needed and really haven't really had, like, the new monitors have been a game changer. We're probably 5 years late to the party there. But we've been able to make accommodations where we've needed to. They've worked with us really closely. We've had cost efficiencies on our GIS systems through them. It's been a really good relationship. We're very comfortable renewing this one.
Our disentanglement study was done by Sondi Solutions, who I think was has a solid reputation on the government side. That includes telecommunications, help desk, right? I have issues whether I'm in the office or at home, I just call the number. Just recently, they said, yeah, your laptop is toast, come down and get another one, we'll have it loaded. Within 4 hours later, I was traveling, I was going on town, like, they treat us pretty good. Don't get me wrong, sometimes staff is frustrated, they can't download anything they want to without. We bought the owl, I was a little frustrated, it took us a week to get thumbs up through the IT department to download the software to operate the owl.
Other agencies already have.
Yeah, I may have been slightly frustrated on that, I did apologize to Colin, on that. But overall, yeah, I think for what we get.
This is a tangent, but does the MPO hold any traffic camera data or flock video, anything like that?
I imagine DPW might, but we don't.
I bring it up and just for everybody's
Yeah.
information,
I know,
right?
right.
People are starting to make public
Absolutely.
information requests for that. kind of video and data, and it can be a real challenge. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm hearing about it around the country. Public information requests for that type of information, so, but if you guys don't have any, then
We don't have anything.
it's not.
I mean, the closest thing is, I think we're doing some near miss analysis in the SS or A grant. But I don't even think we would actually receive any of that actual data. I think we just the outputs of it, right? Like how many near misses, number of vehicles, those types of things. So
We have a very small server footprint except for our model runs. Our model runs are outrageous. So that's why we look to offload those from, you know, whatever it was, a few $100 per terabyte to, it's like $9 on the thing, so.
I will just say, because MPO is subject to public records requests.
Right.
However, you're handling that storage, you have to take into account. How you would handle a public information request for that data or that, right, you don't have to give data, you give. Documents, but
Right.
that's a whole legal question, but just a consideration when you're thinking about cloud servers versus local versus this type of an arrangement. With another public entity that's also subject to public record request. It just, I think that's something you gotta be mindful of when you're considering those things, but.
and I'd argue another benefit of ISA has all the records retention, it's like, right, when we do get a FOIA request that. Which happened several times during the transit initiatives, like we want all of your emails that said red line, public safety, so, right, ISA went back through, come through, look at their department's emails. Right, and we were able to provide those as part of that process, so. Yes, but TDM model runs is something we should probably have a little bit more.
That's an added value to working with ISAs and stuff that they're familiar with and know how to handle those types of issues versus an outside vendor. Where they're gonna be looking to you for more direction on how to handle it, so.
Yes, absolutely, it's a benefit.
It's been a big deal with several vendors, like having experience with public entities, as opposed to private, not all of them believers.
Yeah.
Some are getting up to speed.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, I think we need a motion to approve resolution 2025 exec 0018.
Move to approve, Wilhelm.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying aye. Any opposed by saying aye? Hearing none, motion carries. It gets us down to item number 9. Before we do that, I just want to say thank you to you guys for the questions and comments. You explained everything really well, and I think that's kind of why the meeting goes a little faster, is because the way you explain things. So thank you guys for that. So item number 9, 2026 IMPO Executive Committee elections. Anna.
Yes, just a high level, I believe I did some research on this at the afternoon. I think Mayor Myers, Andrew Clare, Eric Wathen. Are all up for reelection in the at-large seats come February, so, largest city automatically has a seat as well as largest transit provider, still. City of Indianapolis, and Indigo, but you will see those, we'll be reaching out to you, see if you're interested, and then I will be sending emails out to policy as well, and see if anybody else is interested. For those that still have another year on our term, I will probably over the next couple of weeks give you, they call them conflict of interest forms to fill out. And then if you want, I can always attach your old conflict of interest form if I feel like you're not the clearest of documents. So just a heads up on that. Also, IMPO membership dues are due in February if your community hasn't paid. Some communities wait until the calendar year to open up and actually pay those. You okay if I tackle one more?
Go ahead.
Okay, strategic plan, we did have, a survey sent out, to the executive committee, tech and policy, and then the planners. We got that data back, to be truthful. I've not dug into it, but overwhelmingly, it seems very positive, which is good to hear. Overall, it was interesting. We did put a question on quarterly tracking. And it seems, Sean, what was the observation there is,
Yeah, people are tolerating quarterly tracking just fine. I think there's It feels like our role with federal funding exchange has shifted a little bit, and we will be doing more support of you all with NDOT issues. That seems to be the trend, you know, help with our NDOT challenges, which is fine, and that's, you know, we work with them as closely as we can, and we'll try and answer those questions as we go, but it does feel like that's the way that role is shifting, that quarterly tracking has become more NDOT focused. I think it's what's happened.
I will also tell you, we are looking, we did this the last strategic plan, doing a site visit to visit another regional organization slash, you know, as an executive committee member, we are looking to invite you, understand you're very busy people, may not be able to make it. Ryan, I do want to talk, to you and or Jenny about just transit. We have identified preliminarily, Atlanta. The ARC, the Atlanta Regional Council or Commission, okay, as the site visit, and we are looking at either the week of February 9th or February 23rd. So we are in the early midst of trying to set that up and look at the things that we want to highlight at ARC. So just a heads up on that.
Geeked out on that trip last time. They're incredible, so much stuff. It's definitely aspirational for us. Our model isn't to become the ARC, but there are so many things that we can learn from them.
Question here, policy and tech meeting scheduled, I think, for the 3rd.
Yes,
That's right in the middle of the county commissioners conference, just so
okay,
you know.
You're gonna have to reschedule them. What time? You're gonna have to reschedule them.
Yeah,
So. I think I've asked this question before, but I want to ask kind of what you said about quarterly tracking and NDOT. Is there any, or maybe it's more appropriate to the committee, like nervousness about more money being pushed to NDOT hands through a new reauthorization bill that might put money into the state hands more so than federal hands? Is there any concern there? I guess my question is just more about like, if that landscape changes, how can we ensure or push DOT to get the right support and not just assume that everything is hunky-dory as is?
Hannah's been really involved in reauthorization at the federal level this time around.
I have a couple of things that IMPO is pushing is to just bypass the DOTs altogether. And to direct recipient to MPOs for infrastructure funding. I have kind of put us in the name of potentially piloting that if that actually comes to fruition. I don't know, it's a crystal ball and exactly what's gonna come out of, right, the reauthorization. I also argue, NDOT commissioners, right, come and go and staff retire and there are new staff members. So we have been very lucky at the folks that have been hired and replaced, being, you know, within NDOT, having previous relationships with EIMPO. I don't love that is very kind of relationship based and not institutionalized a bit. From time to time, like right when I need help, I do definitely rely on, the committee members. We may get to that point. We do have to aggressively, I need to start talking to the commissioner and the new Secretary of Infrastructure and Chief of Staff about the federal exchange. We need to have it figured out by fall of next year what we're doing because we are at the end of our agreement with the federal exchange agreement. We need to, and that's awful hard right now because nobody knows what the new transportation bill looks like. And so, but I don't have a good answer. There's just a lot of.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I know it's a little bit of an unfair question in some ways. It's just a worry to exchange one frustration for another for the LPAs. That generally doesn't happen for Indigo as much. But I know for you guys, that's what I hear, so.
Yeah, we have a pretty good relationship with NDOT right now. And it's, a lot of it is interpersonal and just kind of that's the way things work, because it's built on relationships, but things could be a lot harder for us right now than they are. They, with federal funding exchange, they kind of trusted us in a way that they haven't other MPOs in the state. They've treated us differently and better and more hands-off, which is been really nice. We've had room to run, and when there's been issues, we've worked it through with them. During the shutdown, they continued to process invoices and things and work with us. They fast-tracked the UPWP. We're in a spot right now where institutionally, as an MPO, they are pretty hands-off. They treat us pretty well. There's oversight, but not an absurd amount. We're about to go up on certification review with federal highway. We'll see how that goes. That's going to probably be in early summer. But I'd say at least right now, as far as we can see ahead, things are kind of okay with NDOT.
Anybody else with any comments?
I just
Anything
wanna
you wanna
say,
bring up?
oh, and can I say something? So we had a roundabout at Arlington and, Hannah, we got awarded a couple years ago, got awarded $1.9 million from the NPO in this awarded bid for 763. Wow, 763. It's crazy. Our engineer's estimate was 1.5, and the average bid, we had 4 bids, the average bid was 897 for this roundabout. Just insane.
Great.
They're paving there, right?
Yeah. I'm sure. Yes. Yeah, not believe it. We just worked for, wow, 763 for a whole roundabout.
What did you buy for the other million?
Nothing. I know, I know, I would have made it a lot faster too, but that was just a pleasant surprise, because I know bids are starting to come down a little bit on construction projects, but that was, it's insane to me. 763 and we're at 1.9.
Thanks for sharing that, because I have.
Everything we're putting out is way.
They are just crazy, and I think they're all aggressive, and they all think, oh, we were a little too aggressive there.
Well, I think
We all are.
there's a lot of people scared about Senate Bill 1 too.
They are correct.
Yeah.
But,
And they're trying to get their queues filled.
get projects going, go.
And engineers are scared to be a little better.
I'm just gonna say, welcome to the recession.
It's crazy.
That and
About this time next year, we'll realize that we're already in it.
Yeah.
we'll get nice 69 down, finished up, that helped a lot because all the
Oh,
contractors,
that's
the
true.
contractors are all like nervous, now they don't have any work, so.
Exactly.
Feast or famine.
Yeah, we just bid the Parkway, engineers estimate was 43 million, came in at 23.
Wow. Holy cow.
I've got sewer projects that's coming in lower than what's.
We just had them, so.
Been a very long time.
I know.
It's about time that they finally did the.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we can adjourn the meeting.
One last
Yep.
reminder, I mean, call for projects is due.
Black Friday,
Yeah.
yes, I
I
understand.
get them in Wednesday,
working on
I mean,
Friday?
get them in today.
We're expecting
Yeah.
work on Friday.
Yeah.
All right,
Get them in now.
all right. I think
The incentive was to get it done ahead of.
Yeah.
Not the last.
You haven't seen my calendar.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody else will be working for you.
So let's make a note, we're at 38 minutes, after we started, after 37 minutes, and we'll ask for a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.